Hello, this is Vulturefire, and today's video is going to be a new run on an old deck that I like a lot, which is the Rout and Burn list. So I need to basically completely redo this list because a lot of the relevant cards have changed pretty substantially this patch. So first of all, let's start by just looking at the burn cards so we can go over some of the things that have changed. One thing, Fire Tap is now only 1 mana, Immolate is now 2 mana and is burn 4. What this means is it's much easier with 2 Immolates and 2 Fire Taps to consistently do this loop. Another change is that in general, getting to larger amounts of mana tends to be a little bit more restrictive, which makes Agonizing Blaze a little bit worse. However, Frostfire is now cheaper. It is now 2 mana and it gives Frostbite 2 and Burn 2, which means that it is now half as expensive and you just lose like the 4 damage portion that was never why you were playing it in the first place. So, but let's look at our payoffs. So, the first major note here is that Firestorm no longer does AoE damage based on burn. It does do AoE damage, and it is kind of based on burn, but it no longer will, first of all, it's no longer 8 mana, that's also relevant, but it no longer scales up to the absurd degree it used to. So the new Firestorm is 5 mana to double the burn of all enemies, then trigger it 10 times, which means that this caps out at 60 AoE damage. And that is a lot for Area 1 and 2, but that is not that much for Area 3. We cannot rely on Firestorm as our push-button way to win fights anymore. That said, it's still not a bad card. We're still probably going to run it. We still likely will end up with one, but that's worth noting. It is not going to be the payoff we want. Frostfire Blast, similarly, no longer scales based on burn and frostbite. It is now trigger frostbite and burn 3 times on any enemy, and if you do either of those, you deal 20 damage to it. So that is, it's kind of expensive. It's okay damage, but I don't know how much I like it. We'll see. I haven't yet decided exactly what is going to go in this deck. I do know, though, that I want to go, and I do actually want to include frostbite cards. Because I think that it is now more important than it used to be to have access to that. So we're going to run Frost Nova. I don't know if we run 2. We're definitely running 1. I think we probably run 2 and 2 Glacial Stairs. What's our other mana card going to be? That's the question. I think 1 Distill Elements makes some amount of sense. Because we do have... we are self-frosting a decent amount, and Distill Elements just has general value in enough other fights to be worthwhile, as long as we can somewhat consistently get 2 mana out of it. Mana Shield is actually kind of tempting here, but I'm not sure. Resolute Focus is actually very good. We have plenty of things to go with it, because we are going to be largely on skills. So I'm debating adding like 1 Frostfire as just kind of a flex slot. Other cards that I'm considering. Meditate for the sort of mana and growth potential. Just straight up running some sort of frost card. Like just straight up running Ice Blast or Chill. As just... because we do potentially need to last a couple turns, and so being able to freeze enemies is, more consistently is nice. I'm also considering... what else? Like I said, the Frostfire, the Agonizing Blaze. It's possible that we just end up running Hobble. I don't hate that idea. And we may just go up to 5 mana. Actually, let me check what our self-status options are. I don't hate 1 Mana Jolt to go with our Distill Elements. I don't want to go with Gambler's Focus because Gambler's Focus when you're self-frosting can be very, very risky. I don't hate Shocking Orb. I think Mana Jolt is actually a reasonable choice here. Again, because we're playing a longer game, it does some amount of work. Phase Grace also seems okay as just a slight defensive tool. At that point, though, we are kind of moving towards potentially wanting the second Distill Elements, but I don't think so. I think with just this, it works out. But I am kind of a little bit wary of that. I think we may just go with 1 Frostfire. Just split the difference on getting out our stuff. I obviously have not played this deck yet. I did 1 run with a pure burn build, and I died to Paladin, and that was my second loss to Paladin, and it felt deserved. I do not think that the deck the specific build I was running was that good. We could also run Rites of Winter, which I don't know if we can afford it, but Rites of Winter does have the benefit of doing a decent amount of damage. It is a payoff that, like, this deck tends to loop itself a decent amount. That may be better than the Frostfire. I don't know how often we'll be able to afford it, but when we can, it's going to be pretty good. I think if I do that, I kind of want to get up to potentially another mana card instead of this Phase Grace. But then we don't have any defense. I think we need the Phase Grace. I don't know if the Phase Grace is the defense we need, though. We could just go with the Overflowing Barrier. Let's see, what are all of our shield options? That's not the worst. Resto Shield is okay. I think Bulwark is a little too risky with the other frozen we have. Oh, Barrier of Frost, of course. I forgot that this card is a thing. So it gives us shield for every rank of Frostbite among all enemies. And I like that with the rights. I do think we probably need... That makes the Glacial Stairs a little bit worse. I may not want two of them. I probably want two Resolute Focuses instead. And I may actually swap out one of the Frost Novas. Because if I swap out a Frost Nova, I can swap out the Still Elements for something else. I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to play this Rites of Winter. I don't hate having this Mana Shield in here because it's just a decent amount of a little bit of shield. I think we'll stop throwing things around for now. We're going to just try this out and see what happens. Okay, so step one, let's get all the burn cards in. Burn, 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 burn. This isn't on theme, but we want it anyway. I could see us taking more fire taps. I don't think Tribe Fire is that good anymore. I don't think we want Agonizing Blaze. I could see us taking another Amylite. I don't think we like Fireball enough. I think it's just too expensive. I don't think we would take more Frost Novas. All of those seem okay. That seems fine. I could see us wanting more Glacial Stairs later, but maybe not. We'll see. Frozen Gust seems okay, but a little bit underwhelming. Biting Cold seems okay. Barrier of Frost, I don't know that we're going to want more of them. That seems okay. We want... So that gives us one epic mana card already. We always are going to want our Cleanse cards. Not Cauterize. Cauterize is bad. It's getting buffed next beta patch, but right now it's not good. Because we are slower decks, so having access to Cleanse is good. We are Rowden, so Mana Eruption tends to be good. Twin Ritual could be okay, but I don't know how many actual spells we have. Biting Cold and Stoke the Fire doubling is pretty good. Fire Master doubling is less good. We don't have any in this, we have the rights in the starting deck. That's okay to double. I think we probably leave that one alone. Mystical Bloom seems pretty good, just in general. That seems like a fine. Actually, Frostwave is too good not to have. We may actually swap out the Frigid Ritual. There have been fights where it has been there have been runs that I've done with this sort of deck where it ends up being underwhelming. But that's sort of counterbalanced by the fact that when it's good, it's just amazing. We don't have any access to Adept right now, which is a bit of an unfortunate thing. We do want Cultivate. We do want I think Predator's Focus, Icy Concentration, Precarious Draught. I don't know if we want Mind Seed. Yeah, our deck is already full, which is a little unfortunate. There are more things I want to add, but we don't have space. We need Contemplate for just a little bit more card draw. And then we need... what else? Stone Skin's not the worst thing. Brainstorm is not the worst thing. We probably don't need Brainstorm, though. I don't think we need Mind Blast. Arcane Vision seems like an okay place to be, potentially. So many choices. I think Arcane Nova has pretty consistently done... Well, Sorcerer's Accretion works pretty well with like the fire taps, because we can sometimes loop a bunch of cards with fire taps. I don't know that it's exactly what we want, but I want to try it, so we're going to go with it. Okay, so this is now a very, very different list from what we had before. We'll see how well it works. We'll take a card to start with. We'll take more Aether. We'll take more max shield. The max mana is way less valuable than it used to be, but we have a couple things that scale with max mana. Frost Amulet is generally pretty bad, even though we are starting with Frost stuff. Okay. Stoke is amazing. Stoke is absolutely the card that we want most. And starting with Card Draw Trinket, that's pretty dang good right out of the gate. No Fire Elemental, but that's to be expected. Fire Elementals go into hiding as soon as you bring out the burn deck. You shall never have Consuming Flames if you could use it. That's just how it works. And I make the rules, okay? Okay. I think we're going to draw more because we can find, yeah, mana. We can do this, which is what I wanted to do. I like getting that kill out. And then I like that that is a little bit cheaper to pull off than it used to be. Okay, there we go. The other nice thing is that the Arcane Leak does actually help us fuel the Distill Elements, in case you missed that part of that. So the reason I took Cleansing Shield is just I like having it. We're going to want Cleanse at some point in the run, and, you know, if it's offered, we'll take it now. This is a pretty anemic Fire Tap, but, or pretty anemic Stoke, but we take what we can get. I forgot to play that, we should have played it already. This one, so we can't get enough to play both of them. Just play that. Gives us enough shield exactly to avoid taking damage. Now, neither of these guys are going to attack this turn, which is nice. We are now in this position where we can't actually play the rights, which is kind of a thing I was worried about. Yeah. I think we just want to do that. And then get some shield back. Yeah, because you're now, the front one's now dead, and we just have to deal with the back one. Which, Fire Tap will get us there. Yeah, the rights may have been, oh right, I was waiting for it to end, but of course you actually have to finish this kill. It was functionally dead, but that doesn't actually end the game. Functionally dead is not enough. We don't have any strikes, we're probably not picking up any strikes. The Shark Bear is not the worst thing to have. Frost Amulet is still very bad. Yeah, I don't think we're going to pick up any strikes. I think Swarm's Bite is the only possibility if we pick that up from A3, from A2. Oh, other notes on Stoke now. Stoke halves the damage modifiers from things like Mighty or Vulnerable. So it no longer scales quite as well. Let's see what we can find. Alright. Love to see it. And we can get even more shields. Sure. We do actually get some benefit from that. Yeah, growth is a little bit of a problem because we don't have any ways to outright freeze. I do kind of wish this was a chill, I think. Because I did consider that, and I decided against it, and I think that I have reconsidered. Although, it doesn't matter. But like, we don't seem to need the rights yet. It's possible our mana will work out. So I like Shocking Grasp as just a way to generate growth for us. But I think Stoke has to be our upgrade. See what we can get here. Alright. Very, very unlucky on that particular event. This is probably the worst event you can roll just because it's a fight with a lot of card rewards that are mediocre that also, so you end up a card and it's going to be a card that you don't really care about, and that's just, you know, pretty lame. We'll do that. We want to get a little bit more arcane on us for the Distill Elements before we cleanse it off. Okay. Okay, you do this. Sure, more Frostbite. Alright, we don't quite explode. Calculated, definitely definitely part of the plan, and not just me not noticing where the numbers were at. Again, like we can play this. I suppose it does kill. Yeah, let's go ahead and kill. Because the other option was we could have killed the back one by playing out the burn, but we can freeze you, which is fun. That was not. We were weak. That was the problem. Trying to figure out like that should have done it. Whoop. And we get the burn. Oh, we don't. We're one off, but it's fine because bonk. I don't watch things. It takes effort to pay attention to what's going on, and I just don't care enough. Windwalker Code is interesting. I don't think we want to go with it. End of turn sturdy gain is actually pretty nice. Just a little bit of extra bonus for longer fights when we generate a decent amount of shield. And this could be very easily a longer fight. We'll see what happens, but that would be my money on this being a longer fight. Because we do not have any. This is actually probably going to be a fight where we get value out of the rights. Especially because I think our mana is now in a little bit better position to use it than it was. Trying to think through how I do that, I think. Okay. Do as much damage as we can. And then hope that we don't get completely blown out by these frenzy turns here. Okay, we're in good shape. Right, okay. I couldn't remember if we were going to get freeze there, because I'm, again, still always too lazy to do the math. But my usual plan of just assume the math will work out for us paid off in a big way. And we now have lethal, because burn is 6 damage now. Okay, that went better than expected. I really like having access to Sanctity. I also really like having access to Mana Eruption. We already have the Cleansing Shield, so I think we can afford to take that one. Imbued Robe doesn't go with anything. No, it goes with the Shocking Grasp. Maybe the only thing it ends up going with, but we're not doing anything with the Shock Robes really, so that's cool. And then other upgrades. This upgrade makes that a whole lot more useful. Biting Cold takes that to a lot more damage. That's probably the best upgrade. Yeah, I think I like just like Shocking Grasp Plus is very good, but it's less important now that we got the Imbued Robe. I like Biting Cold as just a way to get more damage out, and then I think we just are going to cut the Rites of Winter. I think that we are hoping that it doesn't end up mattering. We just get so much shield here. Unfortunately, the lifesteal is annoying, but so one of the biggest things with the burn deck right now is there's only one good AoE burn card, and that is Increasing Inferno. And so if you can find an Increasing Inferno, your burn deck is just going to be in a much stronger spot than it will be if you can't. Like, you don't need it to win, but you just really would like to find it. Yeah, getting that Stoke immediately, I think, very important to letting us just ponk things out of existence. Although in this case, we don't need it. It's not doing much damage for us yet. We can find an Increasing Inferno. That's another way that we can end up doing a lot of damage with that. I like Cultivate. It's a way to draw cards eventually. And so this will potentially give us Toughen, which is always nice. And we can get Dead Chill Bolt, which would actually be pretty good for us at this point. This is always the awkward potential thing with running Fire Taps. And this is like why having that card draw trinket at the beginning is so important, because it just means that we can immediately set up and get going. Yeah, let's get that out of the way. Okay. Feel reasonably good about where we're at. The one card we didn't get here that I would kind of like to have had is an Arcane Aegis. Just because I really like that card and I think it's very good. Okay, Toughen is great. Deathfrost Storm is also very good, but we're not going to get another shot at Toughen, and having a way to get tough I think is going to be important later, potentially. And the Mighty's not nothing. And it's a small amount of healing, so just all around does a few good things for us. Just good to do that. We don't need any shield. Seems fine. We don't love that, of course, but you know, it's not the end of the world. That's why I should have taken Deathfrost Storms. We are kind of low on ways to actually apply Frostbite right now. So one thing that is very convenient here is that we can freeze ourselves with this Biting Cold, which means that we don't have to deal with getting frozen by the actual thing, which is always a very important thing, is not actually getting frozen by the Fire Elemental itself, if you can at all avoid it. I think we don't play the Precarious Draught. We will play that though because we are relatively low on actual frost output, or on actual frostbite on this thing, and then we don't even need to do that. We just kill. Okay. I think Contemplate. Elemental Winds is also tempting, but I think we just take, and Ice Cure is fine, but I think we take Contemplate here. I think Starting Purity is very good, and I think we upgrade. I'm a little bit leery of doing this upgrade because it does apply so much frost to us. But I think we may need the extra Frostbite, because especially since we cut that other thing. So we're gonna risk it. I do like getting that extra upgrade though. That would have been the other reason to take the Icy Cure, is it just is a way to cleanly freeze ourselves on demand when we need to. We're gonna assume that we don't need that, which, you know, could always be a mistake, but I'm sure it'll be fine. This now we are blocking, which is good and bad. Okay, we want to get out as much damage from that as we can. Okay. So we are going to take a little bit of damage here, but it's just a tiny amount. And we did a ton of damage to the boss that turn, which we're very happy to do. Oh, I kind of should have played this because I think, want it in the deck. But yeah, that just gives us a ton of growth, which is not something we have a lot of right now. Let's Frostbite you a couple times, so you'll freeze at the end of turn. Now take a little bit more damage, but you're not attacking this turn and you're frozen this turn. This breaks even on damage. Let's see if we can find another shield. That's kind of what I was hoping to see. I think we fixed that. Yeah, we'll play that now. And then, yeah. We had a Purity, so we could afford to play that. This is a turn that has, that Jerk does have Reflect set up, which is annoying, but we do have Shield, so it's fine. Frigid Ritual seems pretty good. I don't really can afford Fire Mastery right now. Also, like, I don't hate Wall of Thorns. I really like Frigid Ritual, even if it's probably not what we need right now. For the deck upgrades, maybe the Immolate Plus at this point. Just for the added. I don't hate this because it gives us more draw. I don't hate that just because, like, we don't have any other burn sources right now. Yeah, getting our output right now is a bit of a problem. I might cut. I don't want to cut the Distill Elements. I don't want to cut. The problem is, like, there's nothing here that I really want to cut. There's just a bunch of cards that I want to add, which is, you know, not the best thing. The tough is probably not amazing, but, like, having that source of tough I think is important. So let's see what we got to deal with here. No Phoenixes, no Frost Gorgons. That's just rude. That's just rude. You have some drakes. Yeah, that's all just gonna be those. And we have emerald, not ruby. That's unfortunate. We would have loved ruby dragon here. I think we're gonna go through this drake, get one of those two. I think, like I would love to go arcane elemental, but we may need to go through these drakes. Let's see how we're feeling when we get there. I have to start with one of these two, and then we'll go through this, because I would love to have either of those. Okay. We're going to start with this and scroll recall. Yeah, so it's like we're just like, we get so much value here out of just being tough, just reduces the damage we're taking here by a lot. We don't need that because we have this. That continues to just do amazing work for us. Very happy with the choice to upgrade that. Right. So we do want to end the turn with this either frozen or with us having this purity so we can block this incoming bleed. Oh, whoops. I was thinking that we were going to freeze ourselves. I'm a dumb. This is unfortunate. It'll be fine. Yeah, we are now bleeding. But that's frozen, so we don't have to play anything this turn if we don't want to. And that'll be... That's worth it as well. In the fight, we can afford to be down that tiny fraction of health. I think we take the Death Frost Storm. We actually are kind of tempted to take the Immolate, but I like the Death Frost Storm a little bit more, because it does a little bit more for us. We may cut the unupgraded Frost Nova, although we may also just need both. I think we need both if we are going to end up taking a Glacial Touch. It's just a matter of whether or not we're going to end up finding a Glacial Touch. That's obviously not a guarantee. Okay. We may not Fire Tap this turn. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This jerk is now going to set up Tough, which is rude, but fortunately Tough doesn't do anything against our burn, and so we can try and just burn him out. Alright, so we are going to explode here. But that's fine. Fine if accidentally freezing ourselves here. By accidentally, I mean on purpose. Sure, we'll get all the frost. And then, yeah, freeze ourselves. Yeah, very, very arcane leaked, but we just win. And it ended up at full health. I like Mystic Ritual a lot. Frostfire Blast isn't bad. Elemental Winds isn't bad. I really want to draw all these cards. Especially because we do have a lot of mana right now. So drawing all of those cards is something we can absolutely do. We may need to upgrade the Distill Elements at some point to fully be able to manage stuff. But also we may not. It may be fine. I think we may pitch this Glacial Stare. We'll pitch the Glacial Stare because we have the Frigid Ritual. Let's see what else we can get out of that first. No luck. But we get one more shot at it, so... Alright, yeah, no more Frostbite generation. I suppose I could have done this first. Watch this be... Okay, no, still nothing. Totally justified, I'm very clever. We are going to be on fire, but that's fine. No point in playing any of our other shield generation here. So I was really worried about mana, but then we picked up 2 epic mana cards that are both very, very good, and that's a large part of why we aren't in trouble here. And by a large part, I mean that's basically the entire reason. So this is the problem with like not having any ways to like trigger Frostbite, is that, like that's our main way to deal with these jerks. Because this is going to do just nothing to them. You're just all going to evade it. Let's get so much mana. I should have done that first. Set you on fire as well. It's actually not even going to freeze us. Yeah, my sequencing there was technically a little bit off, but like, it's all fine. Okay, let's get curse on you. Don't need that. We may be able to afford to cut the Precarious Draught, which is pretty good. Kind of happy with that. We're going to take a little bit of damage here. Still not too bad. Slowly working our way through these guys. But yeah, we cannot keep up with this evasion. But hey, we can freeze it. More frostbite. And now we take some real damage. Yeah, that's 15 damage straight to our recoverable health. To our max recoverable. Let's keep dumping on you, I think. Because you're dead effectively. Yeah, you're dead actually. Just completely. Fortunately, we do have access to as much shields as we need this turn. I'm just kind of hoping to find a little bit more healing if I can. But if not, it's not the end of the world. Just block all of this and then watch this thing die. Okay. Burning Focus is pretty good. We don't need it at this point. Against Emerald, the Cleansing Shield is less valuable, although the Cleansing Shield is still pretty good overall. I think we take the Burning Focus though because it's still good and it lets us potentially cut the unupgraded Immolate, which I would like. Take Mind Rune. It doesn't do a ton for us, but it helps with Shocking Grasp specifically. Okay. Cleansing Shield doesn't do anything for us. So that is going to conveniently set that up. We're going to draw more cards. Right, so get a decent amount of damage out there. Very good turn one, I think. Like, not amazing, but this deck doesn't really have amazing turn ones. At least not the build we have right now. I think we're going to get both of those into the draw pile. Okay, so that conveniently means we're just completely in the clear here to just go off. Okay. Okay, that's not the one that's going to freeze us. We can afford to get that mana because we're just going to get so much shield here. Unfortunately, are now shocked. Going to take probably some damage here. There are draws we could get that would save us, but there's no guarantee we will find them. Okay, I think now we use the Contemplate. Okay, I wish I had done that first now. I can go... Okay, so we don't take too much here. We don't take any more recoverable. And then I think Glacial Touch is the one we want. I think we don't have an increasing Inferno, so I don't think we can use that, but Glacial Touch I think we can. I do think that upgrade is worthwhile. And then I think we cut the unupgraded Immolate. I think we're going towards these friends. Corner Focus isn't the worst. I don't think I want any of the other stuff. So, all right, and that is just immediately turning that on, which is great. And then we just get a million mana, billion mana, and we can draw some cards. Draw more cards, which we can pay for with our billion mana. we get all of our whatever. And we don't even need that. Let's just go and do that because we can. Oh man, that's great. That almost clears out all of our problems. So one more to go. But yeah, that Shocking Grasp absolutely pulling its weight, I would say. Okay, second Stoke is great. I just might actually finally get some more value out of this burn angle. Sure, we'll see if we can pick up Thirsty Fang kills. I don't think we can do many, but, you know, everyone you can get feels good. We don't have great trinkets otherwise, so relatively low cost. So we're going to do this before we play Mana Eruption, because that'll give us extra mana. Effectively, it was a net positive on mana, which is fun. We want to kill the little ones first, I think, just because we can. Or more specifically, we can kill the little ones. I don't know that we can kill the big ones quickly. Okay, nothing has enough Frostbite for that right now, which is unfortunate. We are going to explode. Oh, we can actually kill you. Now we don't explode. Ah, I could have Thirsty Fanged it. Oh, I feel so dumb. It was perfect. It was perfect. I just completely forgot. Okay. Playing this explodes us. What do we get for our trouble? That's, I think, worth exploding for. Yeah, especially if we're going to get this. Let's see. Let's do this first, because that'll mean that this thing is frozen and Round gets bonus damage against frozen targets. This is going to kill you. Yes, because it's going to apply burn. I think we want to get more shield. I don't think we need more mana. Sure. Yeah. Just really struggling to get out just enough burn. Loving that we do occasionally get, that purity from Glacial Touch, and we can technically also get purity from that other thing we're doing. Yeah, this does feel like, I suppose the fire taps are actually doing a good amount of work. I don't think any of the rest of the burn is doing that much, but the fire taps are doing great work. That seems okay, actually. I don't hate that. Well, I don't love it either. I'll take it. Will I cut it immediately? I don't think so. I think I like having access to Arcane. I think the Precarious Draught we may not need, and it's eating our purity. And speaking of, I would love to see a Gleaming Aegis here. Make me unspeakably happy. Let me speak to you about how happy it would make, about how unspeakably happy I would be. Alright, we can play this because we have, oh, because that was only 9 total, but also because we have purity, was my thought. We can get 30 mana, which is pretty good. We can freeze this jerk out, which you'll love to see it. You can draw more cards, and then we will distill elements to help us a little bit with stuff. Alright. This is not quite enough, but it will be after this. Boop. Nailed it. Yeah. You're basically dead. And pop goes you. Everything going great. I said we didn't have good turn ones, and then we just did that, so, yeah, I guess I lied. Believe me, you just love to see it. That doesn't do a ton for us. It's actually okay, I guess. It's not great, but it's okay. I'm debating cutting the unupgraded Stoke because we just cannot build the burn for it to be that useful, and it's eating up our shock stacks. Okay, so I think we have enough purity that this fight won't be a huge problem. That's the hope anyway. But it is absolutely a potential concern. Alright, we do actually maybe need that. We don't need the glacial stair. Executive decision made. And that works out very well. And we get enough shield that we can block everything incoming. Okay. Yep. Bonk. Shield. And more bonk. Is that a change? No, it's just a bunch of shield now. Just way more shield than it used to be. Trying to figure out what's going on there. Lots of numbers have changed, and I'm not super up on what all the versions of every card do right now. Alright, we get to do that, which works out very well for us. And then I think we need to draw cards looking for mana. Okay. It's actually an okay time to use that, potentially. You're not shocked, but we want you to be shocked. So now you are. There we go. This gets us our mana. We're going to do this, which is going to eat a purity. Get us a lot of mana. We can get even more purity. And this works out pretty well too, because we got to take away one of those plated stacks that just got done setting up. And that's a very good way to finish that. Let's see. 6 damage, it's not enough. That's still not going to be enough. I think we want to hold this, because yeah, Fire Tap gets us to exactly where we want to be, which is that now we can Thirsty Fang on the dragon. Lightning Communion is actually very good for us. We don't need it, but I want it. But I want it. I think we need to upgrade our Cleanse card. I don't like that. I think we need to upgrade the Cleansing Shield because it's our only cleanse source. Although we do have a lot of purity, so maybe we didn't, but it's too late now. Maybe we shouldn't cut the other Immolate. That's definitely a lot of why the Stoke is struggling. Do we need the Delayed Burst in Area 3? Yeah, it's not bad. I don't hate having it. Do we need the Barrier of Frost, though? I think so. I think it's... So we're just not cutting anything? I guess we're just not cutting anything. Okay. So first of all, we are fighting Baelator. So everything is... So it is going to be a pain in the butt to get through Baelator's purity. But once we do, we're clear. We're going to go this route. It gives us a lot of events, which means a lot of chances to fight CPU, which I have no clue how that fight's going to go, but it's worth a shot. And we can also try picking up... Ardent Blast is a million man, but we can afford it. Although we still just do not have the burn output we want. Because we just never found an increasing Inferno, which I do really believe is that important. Okay. Having one of those days where we just can't find our setup. There we go. There's some of it. Not perfect, but at least it gets us started rolling. Yeah, because we drew a lot of cards there and we just didn't. It just took us way too long to find our actual stiff. And we still don't have enough Frostbite out. We may actually want to upgrade the other Frost Nova, which I hadn't been wanting to do because I was afraid of this self-frost, but we do have enough purity that I think it's going to be fine. Go ahead and freeze you out. Alright, we get that value. We can put more curse on you, because that's the important one. What do we do? We roll the dice, and we lose. Okay, well, I tried. Wait, you didn't expect me to not go for the greedy play. I know only greed. I should have tried to get a freeze out on this one, because this next turn is going to hurt otherwise, but there we go, it's fine. Never didn't have it. And then we can just freeze out that turn so we don't have to deal with it. Which makes life so much easier for us. Alright. Still slowly stacking sturdy. These snails are fiendishly difficult to actually kill. This just eats a purity stack, which we don't care about. Pop you for more damage. Get more frostbite out. And in with some bonus shield. Okay. This thing will have a lot of powerful when it pops, which is going to be annoying. Let's see. Trying to think through if this is going to cause problems for us when it flips. A little bit, but not too bad. Because we can Frost Nova. So we've got all of our stuff set up on it. And we have a lot of purity set up, so it can't make us bleed. Oh, that's actually, I forgot that gives us actually Arcane Berry, which is very good because it means that it took away one of the extra frenzy turns. So it just completely made our lives better. So much easier to not have to deal with that. Our Mystic Ritual starting at 6 instead of 8 just makes it so much easier to play. In case you were wondering how I keep pulling that one off. Because, yeah, I haven't exploded from it more than like the once. I should have gotten that freeze out sooner. Okay. So, this is actually very easy to do. Because playing anything is going to trip that bleed and then Thirsty Fang. Clean. Elemental Winds is kind of tempting. Yeah, I think that's what we want. It's one of these two. I think Elemental Winds is slightly better. It'll be funny against the Frostfire. Sorry, the Shadow Flame things. Okay. This doesn't quite pop Purity, which is nice. Right. Hey, we at least got... I mean, we were guaranteed the hit that we got. But we got the hit that we were guaranteed. You know, you take the victories you can get. And now this opportunity isn't set up anymore, which is obviously very important. Let's draw some cards. Okay, so now we have mana. And we want to freeze first so that we can get extra damage from Rowden's passive. This is going to draw us. Just going to shuffle the deck. Get got, dummy. That gives us a lot of mana. We can get out a lot of damage like this. Oh man, that was so close to lethal. Goodbye. That all worked out perfectly. And there's our increasing Inferno, finally. It's not going to be useful in this fight, but we're just never going to get through with this these evasion stacks. And look at all this damage. Look, that's 108 damage that we can't get. It's just impossible for us to get that damage. But oh man, imagine if we could. Once again, in this awkward position of just not actually having any ways to get Frostbite out. Okay. It's actually more risky than I thought it was because of where we were at in terms of stuff. Okay, there we go. Now we can Frost Nova, which isn't really the one we want. Because yeah, this is no longer red, but it's not green. Can we get to 0 for this? We can. How do we get to 0 for that? That's Smith the most shield. Okay. This will clean off the hidden stack, which is very useful to us. And then, yeah, that guarantees that. And we can't do anything about the evasion stacks over here. And they just set up even more evasion, so yeah, we're just never getting through that. So this could be a slog of a fight. And we're also going to take a lot of damage here, just because pretty bad hand. Fortunately, we have some extra health to burn, so... And they're going to try and set us on fire, but they can't, because we are... Or they're going to try and trigger our burn, but we don't have any. But they do. Just go ahead and pop. And yeah, that doesn't get us... Actually kind of happy to potentially not be freezing them here. Just because freezing here doesn't do that much. I think I'd rather save their freeze for next turn. And we can freeze ourselves, which we just don't care about. And yeah, now they're both frozen for next turn when they were actually going to do something that was going to matter. Feels very silly applying burn to these guys. They are never not going to evade anything we do to them. That doesn't mean we're going to stop trying. And we do get value out of those arcane detonations. I didn't even get any reason to... There was no reason for me to play that cleanse, I just did it anyway. Okay. We don't care about this turn, I think. I suppose they are putting out more evasion. Which we would like to stop from happening. We can stop you from getting evasion out. And then you're just going to die to the other stuff we're up to, hopefully. Let's see what else we can get. Alright, yeah, that's kind of why I did that the way I did. Because I wanted to be able to get that out. More burn on you. Yes, yes, you're very cute. And you're frozen for next turn. I don't love that attack. That's it's a mean attack. We don't need that. Sure, more shock. Why not? That wasn't... I was hoping for detonation there, but we didn't quite have it. Because we would have actually gotten... to actually deal damage there if we had the detonation. So this one is actually... Oh man. We did it. It's the most important thing we could have done there. And then we get the kill. So yeah, we had that one really, really bad turn where we just didn't have anything. Sure. Especially now that we have the increasing Inferno, I think we can actually possibly get value out of it. This seems probably better than the Thirsty Fang. As fun as the Thirsty Fang is, I'd rather just have a little bit of extra safety around our self debuff stuff, and that means that I can even more safely... I don't even know that I need to upgrade the Frost Nova at this point. I think upgrading the Increasing Inferno is more valuable. Thank you for showing up on turn 1. I guess that's actually fine. I was talking sarcastically, but that actually seems surprisingly reasonable. But I still don't think I'm going to play it quite yet. Would love to get to 0 mana here without wasting cards. Unfortunately, all my ways to get 0 mana involve wasting cards. So, alright, let's draw 6 cards. That was a pretty underwhelming 6 cards. Yeah, we're just going to take a lot of damage here. I got blinded by the greed of drawing more cards, and then we got punished. That's how that turn went. Like, we have health to give, so it's not a huge deal. I just feel kind of silly, as usual, for giving into the greed and getting very punished. All right. But, like, I wasn't not going to draw all those cards, you know? Well, I'm not going to draw these cards. Or not all of them. Right, so we can't play that without getting frozen. Which is probably fine, but it's something that we just need to kind of premeditate. So now we can play it without getting frozen. It's a little bit unfortunate of how that sequence ended up, but we get damage out. We at least get to avoid one of the debuffs there, although it's not the one we care about. Right now we just have to close out this fight. And still free to use, so makes that turn clean. And we can actually get rid of the distill elements at this point, because we got that item. Okay. I would take... That's not the thing I was going to say. Frozen Gust is okay. It's a little underwhelming. I think it's better than the Death Frost Storm. This... That may be better than the Mind Ruin, but I think we're doing okay-ish on healing. I think we're just going to discard that. Do we need rest going into this? I don't think so. We probably should rest before we start going into post mid-boss events, though, because I am scared of CPU. I do think that fight could go poorly for us. Love to see it. Love to see it. I hate to see it. And that's unfortunately no mana. Yeah, this should be a skill, but it isn't right now. Which means we could get this purity and the shield. Or we could get all this mana. Oh, we can get both. I just thought we had less mana than we did for some reason. Okay, so now we explode, but it doesn't hurt us at all. Okay. This draws us a full hand of cards. We get so close to doing whatever. So I think we're going to do this first. Which will actually give us a freeze here, which is nice. But now the top cards of our deck are more likely to not to be mana because we draw out. I say that and then we just immediately draw just so much mana. Let's... I can just Frost Nova to get a lot more Frostbite because we're going to need that. Then we loop back around to Glacial Touch. We do, in fact, have the touch and possibly also the power, although that's unconfirmed. I think we do need Death Frost Storm. We're running relatively low on Frostbite. Okay. Block all of this. We get the defensive detonation, which is always nice. We can draw just a million cards. Well, we have to have space in hand for them, which is a problem. Okay, yeah. And we couldn't afford to play anything, which happens. But we got to draw all the cards. Again, like, I am never not going to fall for the bait of what if you drew cards. Like, it's just not something I can do. I cannot ever resist. No matter how obvious of an idea, how obviously a bad idea it is for me to draw the cards. Speaking of, we're going to explode, but it's fine. We meant to explode. That was a tactical explosion. Bonus shock. I thought we had enough. That's fine. Okay. And there we go. Took us a while, but we got there in the end. Can we support 2 Glacial Touches? I'm not gonna try. I think that's the answer. Ooh, this we need. We need this. I really want this tiny book, but we need this. And then I think we upgrade the... Okay, that dumping to 6 mana is actually very, very important. We're gonna take that upgrade. I do want to upgrade the Increasing Inferno, but I think that upgrade was more important. I think the Frozen Gust is probably a cut. It seems a little underwhelming when we have compared to the other things we have. The other option is to just cut the Toughen, but I don't like that. The Delayed Burst has been kind of tricky. We have missed Delayed Bursts too many times at this point, I think. We're going to go here. CPU. Oh, I should have rested to get more... to heal up before we went into CPU. But we didn't get CPU, so it didn't matter. Still have 2 more shots at CPU. In case you are unaware of what I mean when I say CPU, that is Corrupted Paladin Unit. It's a new boss that is available in Area 3. And it is not your friend. That's a very awkward way to end that turn. Just off by 1 in every direction. And this turn is also not good. We're going to do that just to get this off. Oof, and that did not help. And a very awkward pair of turns. Because we just needed, we got none of our mana and then all of our mana. And that's basically the story of those 2 turns. Which can happen. And it's kind of why, like, that's what the Tiny Book would have helped us solve. That's why I should have taken that. So we do at least get to freeze both of them. Yeah, once we have gotten rolling, we're in good shape. It's just getting rolling. If that doesn't happen, we're just in trouble. Get our mana back. We can't draw that many cards, but we can draw a few. And I don't think we bother playing that. Just leave the burn out. We can freeze both of them again, which is actually very nice. I didn't really expect to get both freezes out. But, yeah, as usual, not going to complain about things going my way. Nah, I'm going to complain about getting that. Again, that is the danger of, like, costing mana, is that you can draw it in turns where you just... And I should probably be drawing around, like, playing how I draw cards around the fact that that can happen. Because it's just so much worse for us if we don't get that value out. Oh, that actually is perfectly timed. Okay, we kind of need to play that. We don't need to, but we would like to play that. We're running a bit low on Frostbite here. Get a little bit more out. Okay. So this is drawing us our whole hand. This can only draw us one card. Oh, it draws us two cards, right, because we discard. Anyway, it's fine. We now take some damage. Again. Just a rough fight overall, but... Yeah, this doesn't bode well for CPU, I think. Like, some of our AoE stuff is better against CPU, but... I think if we take CPU, it probably kills the run, but, like, again, I'm not going to take it. You know, if we die, we die. We die we do not die as cowards. It's just not how I roll. We're fine to... Although I should have done that just to... Because I could. All sorts of... Shield. Draw all the cards. I should have done that first. This is doing 15 damage. Sure. And then we just get lethal off of that. Okay, definitely resting here. Icy Concentration. I think we do need a little bit more mana. I still don't think we have anything we really want to cut, so we're just not, because we're lazy. We are at quite a few cards. Rest, just take more health. That's probably good. We're beating a CPU with this much health or not. Okay, that's not CPU. That is an upgrade, though. Always will take the free upgrade. This is less important going into Bea later. I think the extra mighty and the extra tough. I think the extra tough is actually the most important thing there. Starting tough is also decent. We don't have ways to get more adept. Starting tough is probably more useful to us than starting mind room, because we only have a couple cards to care about the adept. Alright, no CPU. Take an upgrade. More shock is always very nice. I don't think we need more burn. I do like, though, the second frost, because, like, having the two Frost Novas both be able to get us to touch is very good. This doesn't do anything for us. None of this does anything for us, really. Oh, no, because I took a different item instead. I was going to say, like, I should have taken Tiny Book and replaced Scroll of Recall. Although we have hit Scroll of Recall pretty consistently. And let's look one more time. We should cut something. But I don't get along well with should. So we're not going to. So getting through this initial... so ideally we get the Deathfrost Storm in our opening hand, because that's just our best way to deal with all this purity. Which didn't happen, but... we can just, like, slowly bludgeon our way through all this purity. It's just not Pretty. Not going to draw us any cards, but it will let us scroll a free call. I do want to end this. I do want to get out some debuff if we can. Okay, so we have to do this first because you can't choose not to Glacial Touch. Or sorry, you can't choose not to use the Glacial Stairs thing. All right, so that was one of our 2 difficult turns managed. There's a very good chance that this turn does not go as well. Okay. We're always going to get greedy. I made you guys a promise. Always go for the greed. And I'm going to carry out that promise. And we were rewarded this time. Because there we go. There's another freeze. And next turn is much safer for us. I didn't actually even need to play that. I should just draw more cards. The only downside is like that did cost us all of our Frostbite. Net neutral. Did absolutely nothing for us. Let's do that because it's a good amount of damage. Getting out more burn also made sense, but we don't really need to play the... Well, I guess we do need to play them, given where we're at. Okay. It's going to draw us 5 cards. That'll be enough for the moment. Get 9 mana. We don't have any Frostbite out still. Alright, we have plenty of tough. We can trigger burn, which might get us to some way to get that. Let's see what we get. Yeah. And then we just get smacked in the face for a lot of damage. Okay, well, we tried. Still, things could have gone a lot worse. Yeah, the lesson here is that 2 copies of Glacial Touch and Frigid and Rites of Winter, whatever. Not Rites of Winter, Frigid Ritual don't mix, because that's why we keep not having any mana. And then we're at 38. We can afford to just play this. Okay, then we can actually get mana out of this, which is nice. Look at that, mana. We can draw cards. Yeah, I think we would have died to CPU, definitely, given how this fight has not gone amazingly. I mean, I also might have just, not messed around as much against CPU, which would have helped. But, some of this is obviously that I am not necessarily, buckling down and playing super optimally. This is guaranteed to draw us mana, so let's do it. Lovely. Elemental Winds has been expensive and we haven't been able to afford it much, so it's something to think about for me. Oh, we could have frozen stop. Could we make this freeze here? If that ability to trigger Frostbite is valuable for that reason. That's not happening this turn. Not again anyway. I like just getting out a lot of burn here so that if we draw Stoke, we can just kill with it. Just kill with that. Okay. So several awkward turns there, but overall it worked. Yeah, I think that the burn actually was doing more than I was giving it credit for in terms of damage. The fire taps in particular are giving us just a lot of incidental damage throughout the run. Biting Cold did amazing work early. It kind of fell off later. Shocking Grasp, of course, was a huge contributor to how much value we were getting out of Biting Cold. The 2 glacial touches were amazing. All in all, the run went fairly well. I think this is burn is definitely much weaker than it was. In the last patch, I would have called burn one of a very consistent, very powerful strategy for Rauden. I would say that now it is fun, but not necessarily good. I think if you're going to do the Frostbite package, you would be better off supporting with actual proper frost, because that way you get more consistent freezes out. And I think you get other damage out, like you can run Pierce as one of your damage sources, for example. And I think that would just be overall a cleaner route to victory than swapping in the burn. But this did work, so, you know, it's a run. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you guys for whatever my next run is. Until then, toodles.